Hello, Legend of the Samurai here with a Schlage Primus. This is one of their higher security offerings. It has 6 pins on top, but the interesting bit are the 5 finger pins along the bottom right side of the keyway. They interact with a sidebar and they need to be lifted and rotated to the proper direction in order to set them. So, in terms of picking, I'll show a couple of different things. So this is the CP keyway, which is similar to a Schlage C keyway, but it has some extra warding, and a top of keyway bar that would normally fit in here is a bit too wide, but note that these are actually different widths on both sides. This is marketed as being for a recessed plug, but it's actually a little bit narrower, and it will fit where the other side will not oftentimes, so you can use it even though it isn't a recessed plug. Another thing I'll be using, I call these picking platforms. This is just a little bit of wiper insert, and these Schlage keyways are paracentric, and there's this sloped warding that you're trying to pick off of, and picks like to slide off of that. So if you just stick that in there, you make a little platform that your pick can rest against, and it gives you a fulcrum to work off of, and your feedback is much, much improved. Alright, so picking counterclockwise. Be very careful on this first pin because it loves to overset, but I think I've got it, so now I can increase the tension and then go 2, 3, 4, 6, and 1. And that's our top pins dealt with, and we don't need the picking platform anymore. And now I'll be using a finger pin pick, but in an unconventional manner. So one thing to note is a lot of these locks, there are 3 directions for finger pins. You can have what they call left pointed to the front, center, and right pointed to the back. There are also 2 heights. They call them deep and shallow, and a lot of locks only have the deep positions. And in that case, tolerances are such that you can actually set directions without lifting them. They still need to be lifted, but you can work from the top of the pins, just pushing and pulling. And then when you think you have everything set to the direction, you can do a little bit of jiggle testing. It will not work for center cuts because those need to be lifted slightly higher than the left or the right, but they will lock up. So you can generally tell when those are good. Now, this pick is about 20 thousandths of an inch thick, and it is exactly the width of the keyway down here. And just because of the tolerances, I can take this and insert it completely flat and do absolutely nothing else, and open. Because with those set to the correct rotation, putting a 20 thousandths pick under there gets everything close enough to the right height, and they've already been set at rotation. So you can just push and pull from the top using a little hook, and then put something flat down in the bottom. And I've tested this on 3 different locks, and it works on all of them, provided you don't have any of the shallow bitting. You can use this to set all of your deep bitting, and then go back and lift your shallow bitting afterwards. But that is a fun trick to pull out for an otherwise high security lock. So here we are, open, lock that back up, and take it apart. Alright, there's the back of the cylinder taken care of. Alright, we'll drop out our key pins first. Alright, there's that. And now, set that down a moment. Take out our drivers. I'm not sure why they always use standard drivers in these, but it is very consistent. Alright, here is our housing. There's a sidebar groove. Oh, there's the front of it. Sidebar groove on the right, and nothing else special there. And now, for the finger pin side, so we have a sidebar over here. And that's what the edge of it looks like. And it interacts with those gates there. Two little sidebar springs. And then here we have our finger pins. So we have to the front, middle, back, front, back. And you can see that the center one actually needs to be lifted slightly higher than the left or right cuts. So take the key out. Okay, so here we have our bottom of the keyway with our finger pin chambers. Here is the keyway itself. You can see it is slightly different from a normal Schlage C keyway with a little bit of extra warding. But these keys are actually backwards compatible, so this is just a cylinder that I keyed up with the same bitting. So this CP key will go in here and operate this lock. So you can key these into existing systems and just add high security wherever you need it. Nothing special about the top pins. There's the sidebar channel, and then the actual finger pins themselves. They have a notch that interacts with the key, and then on the opposite side they have that gate that interacts with the sidebar like so. And they do not use false gates, so once you find the true gate, that's it. Close up on this. So there we are. That is a Schlage Primus, picked and gutted. These are fun introductions to finger pin sidebars, so I very much recommend picking one of these up and playing around with it. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.